People, DG, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in. You know it's Wednesday, a day or so before the transfer window closes, so there's going to be a lot of outgoings. And in true Arsenal fashion, we get a move on in regards to of incomings. Then it's Suarez and that. Outgoings, it seems like a lot. I think I've spoken at this point about Emil Smith-Rowe. He's going to Leipzig on a season-long loan. But Eddie Nketiah, there's increasing reports that he'll join FC Augsburg on loan in the Bundesliga. And for me, I'm ecstatic for the guy, man. First and foremost, anyone that's a regular subscriber of mine, how many vids have I said? You've seen Joe Willock's name definitely in one as well. Joe Willock and Eddie need to go on loan. They need to play football. They're in a difficult position. I'm not criticising Unai Emery by any stretch of the imagination, because he's got his own things immediately at first team level we need to do as a club before we consider youth or look at youth, or he can. But Eddie's not playing. He's been on the bench in the Premier League alone 9 or 10 times and he hasn't come off the bench. That tells you currently Unai Emery might consider him a good player, but he doesn't truly trust him. If you look at the games as well, he got a minute against Bournemouth. Keywords, I'm focusing on just on Premier League. And even if you go through them results, when we've been chasing games and things like that, Eddie hasn't been the one to come off the bench. So he clearly doesn't trust him yet or see him as someone like that. Obviously, he's been subject to cup competitions and things like that. He scored. I'm so sure he scored this season. We all remember his 2 against Norwich last year. Obviously, didn't have the best of games against Blackpool. In fact, he had a good game, but just in terms of the scoring front, he needs time to play. He's in a difficult position because he's too good for under-23 football. Just check out his stats for how many years he's been banging it. But he's not getting that chance at first team. So he's in limbo in that he's part of the first team. He's travelling, but he's not playing games. And it's all fun and games, training, travelling, staying with star players like Aubameyang and Lacazette. But if you're not playing, you're not playing. Unai Emery's, obviously, it's away from Unai Emery's decisions. It's tough to play ahead of Aubameyang and Lacazette unless something happens. I will say this from a selfish point of view, as much as I want to go alone, from an Arsenal fan point of view, you're thinking what kind of happens if a striker, God forbid, touch wood, someone gets injured, because Aubameyang and Lacazette, obviously at times either one's been on the bench, but if one gets injured, we're in a bit of trouble. And you're looking at Balogun and Tyrese John-Jules as the immediate strikers, or maybe we'll have to do something in regards to, I don't know, a false 9 or something along them lines, because obviously Welbs is out. For him, it's a good opportunity, because first and foremost, he's going to play games. I know people think when these young players go out on loan, they come back from Germany or their loan spells like Superman. That only happens on a few occasions. They're not going to come back. They're going to come back stronger players, but they're still going to be developing. Even Nelson's season's been up and down as he's trying to add consistency. I want him integrated into Arsenal's squad next year, but do I think he's currently the 10 goals, 10 assists winger, wide man I see him to be in the near distant future? Currently, no. So it still needs scope. So Eddie, don't think that Eddie's going to, I'd love it to happen, but he's not going to go there, score 1,000 goals and come back and do the same thing at Arsenal. What we need him to go out there is simply to improve as a player. Ultimately, first and foremost, he's going to be getting assumed 90 minutes in the league and whatnot. So he's going to get time to refine his technique to deal with different types of centre-halves. There's going to be defenders that are physically stronger than him. There's going to be defenders that are quicker than him. There's going to be people playing 3 at the back, 4 at the back, more attacking, different sort of tactics. Sorry, people, Florentina versus Roma's on, but different sort of things going on, and he's going to react to that, and that's going to make him a stronger player. He's a striker, and you want him to predominantly play there, but don't rule out him getting minutes on the flanks, and that's actually not necessarily a bad thing for his education. Obviously, away from his development, that's all we care about as Arsenal fans, but there's the backdrop of what's going on in Augsburg. They're currently, 15th out of 18 teams. They haven't won since October. If correct me if I'm wrong, they haven't won since October in the league. 2-1 win against Hanover. So there's a lot going on in the context of the team. So he's gonna have to adapt to the pressure, because obviously to us he's Eddie Nketiah and we've got time for him as a young player. If he excels, we praise him. If he does work badly, he's a young player. Augsburg are not gonna give a crap, because their team, you think of your equivalents playing for Augsburg, whatever you're going trying to achieve, they just want to see goals, and he's going to have to react to that, and it's a good thing. Ultimately, you're going to have to sink or swim. We just want him to play games. The main thing as well, add consistency into his game, because currently 10 games, we don't know what we're going to get from him. From 10 games, you want 5 goals essentially, and that's just ideally you want 10 to 5, because that would make him scoring half his games, but that might not happen. I just want him to come back a more confident and more stronger player, and if he's judged to go on loan next year, so be it, and he'll have more confidence. But I want him to come next year, fight for a spot, because obviously you want him to play football, and he wants to play football. It's a tough ask playing ahead of Aubameyang and Lacazette. But if he gets if next season if he gets stronger and improves and makes Unai Emery think raw, then there's a spot for him. Obviously, with Welbs going, looks like Welbs is going to be let go on a free transfer. Obviously, this is said without knowing what we're going to do in the summer and whatnot, because I do think we need options off the bench. And to be honest, Eddie can be used in multiple roles, man. You can't rule out a 4-3-3 or Aubameyang and Lacazette interchanging movements. Just how good he is depends on him. Just how good he wants to be depends on him. We don't know in the next few years if he'll make it at Arsenal or not or elsewhere. I believe he's got a good shot at it, but it's just down to him to prove it. Obviously, like I've said, he's joining a team. Their manager's quite young as well. He's 39. His last name's Brum, I believe. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Like I said, he's 39. Just by looking at the manager, because I wanted to see if... I was doing a little bit of research quickly before I started. I was trying to see... Is this man, and I haven't saw it yet, but is this manager, has he got certain statistics he likes to stick to, certain characteristics? Does he like young players? Does he prefer experience? Is it a long ball side? Because obviously you want to know the team my man's going into. I haven't really looked at that, to be fair. I've seen a couple of Augsburg games, but that's not really enough to assess them of sorts. I'm a sporadic Bundesliga viewer, as you know. But just on the context there, and they're in poor form. Just in looking at the last 5 games, 2 draws, 3 defeats. Haven't won in the league since October. Forgive me if I'm wrong. So he's obviously gonna have to have time for him, but he's gonna have to hit the ground running. The team's not in good form. Probably question marks over the manager and playing staff, and just a lot of pressure. And it's good for him because obviously he's gonna test himself in a competitive league against good sides. But he's got a lot that he's gonna have to deal with. Like I said, my man. Oh, it's 4-1 people. I guess I have to watch that later. But it's like I said, their manager's a former PE teacher. He's described himself as very analytical at times. So I don't know what happens in regards to Eddie and the coach, but hopefully it gives him a chance. The average age of the squad is 25, so we'll see. Just by looking at them, they don't score too many goals, so it's promising for him that he's going to get the chance to improve and play games, because their top goal scorer is on 7 goals, and he's 29 years of age. So potentially, obviously, he's the top goal scorer, so immediately Eddie Nketiah has got to go and better him. Ultimately, we know that Eddie's done this at youth level, and we know he's a sick player, and they obviously do as well. But he's starting again. He's got to have to earn the credibility of his teammates, earn the right to start. And to be honest, he'll relish that, because ultimately that's what he wants to do. Just by browsing their formations, the last couple of games, I've seen a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3. So there's game time for him to go and grab out there, man. Just ultimately, as long as he comes back as a stronger footballer, that's what you care about. Like I said, I don't believe deep down that Unai Emery trusts him, because there's been games we've chased and he's brought on midfielders instead of strikers. He's just not giving him minutes, so he clearly doesn't fully trust him. He can appreciate his ability. He's kept him around. He hasn't gone on loan yet, clearly for depth reasons. Obviously, Welbs has been injured. We've been trying to bring incoming bodies into the side and things like that. So he was clearly waiting before he loaned him out. Because I mean, the stats don't lie. He's been on the bench 10 times in the Premier League, and he's only played a minute against Bournemouth, or 2 minutes against Bournemouth. Out of the last 10 games, correct me if I'm wrong, people, but there's been time. Okay, cool. I haven't got it to hand them. We'll need to actually watch the games again, or my tactical review. Sorry, but we've been chasing them games. There's been minutes he could have got, but Unai Emery hasn't trusted him or deemed him ready enough to come off the bench. He's kept him around for depth reasons. So yeah, man, it's good that he's gonna go and get football, because he's needed this. He's 19, he's 20 next season, well, July. So it's a good time to go and get football, man. You don't want to really be in under 23 football subjective to that for the majority of a campaign longer than you need to be, man. And yeah, man, he joins Nelson. Obviously, Emil Smith-Rowe looks like he's going to Leipzig as well on a season-long loan. Callum Hudson-Odoi might go to Bayern Munich between now and the summer. Obviously, you've got Fingy as well. You've got Ojo out there. You've got Jadon Sancho. He's actually good friends with Jadon Sancho and Reece Nelson, so he's probably sought their advice out before he's made the move, and obviously they've only got positive things to say. Joe Willock's a friend of theirs as well, very close friend if you just look at their Instagram pictures. He's ironically another one that needs to go and get first team football, and for me he's been the standout under 23 football to a degree. Because Denis Suarez looks to be incoming and we might get some more bodies, is it deemed that he goes out on loan? I don't know, because obviously Emil Smith-Rowe's gone out allegedly and Eddie's now. Is that the young player we keep, or does he go and we stick with Saka around just to fill the body sort of thing? So yeah, man, Eddie's got a good chance. Or like I said, people, he's a gooner. Whether he makes it here or not, I want him to have the best career he has, because I like him as a footballer, I like him as a person. He's already come through a lot of adversity already in his career, been released from Chelsea and them things there, and he's technically a professional professional footballer. I just want him to go out, return from it a stronger player, man, and he done the right thing. Showed a lot of courage as well, because I know a lot of young players are moving abroad and doing things, but a lot of them are still essentially, pardon my language, cowards. They're still staying at these clubs because it's nervy. Eddie wants to sign himself. He's got bigger ambitions for himself. He gets that. Obviously, he wants to. Obviously, if he had his chance, play at Arsenal, but he wants to develop as a professional footballer. Anyone that does that has my respect. So Eddie, we're all crossing our fingers and our toes and hoping you do as best as you can. You score goals. I know you got it in you. And yeah, man, I'll obviously be assessing your progress and bringing videos here for you lot. But on that note, though, I'm going to keep it moving. You, man, made me miss the goal. It was 3-1 Rome to 3-1 to Fiorentina versus Rome at the moment in time. I heard the fourth conceded, so I need to go check that. People, deluded. If you wish, comment, subscribe, like up the vid, share it up for me, and do the rest, man. Thank you very much for watching, wherever you are, whoever you are, because the support doesn't go unnoticed. Without you lot, this thing can't go on, man. So thank you. I'm out.